What's the most shameful secret you've exposed about a cousin? I have been married to my husband Eric for about 5 years. We've always known we didn't want kids. It wasn't some tragic infertility story. It wasn't, we'll change our minds later. It's simply not part of the life we want. We travel, we invest, we love our dog, and our freedom. And until a few years ago, I didn't think I owed anyone an explanation for my personal choices. Enter Claire, my cousin. Claire has always had a sharp tongue, but in the past 5 years, it's like she sharpened it specifically for me. Ever since she had her first baby, I've been her favorite punching bag. At my aunt's BBQ, I walked in with Eric and Claire smirked. "Careful everyone, don't leave your kids unattended or she might forget how to hold one." People laughed. I froze. Eric pulled me aside and whispered, "She's trying to get a rise out of you." At my grandmother's birthday, I brought a cake. Claire cut herself a slice and said loudly, "Oh, thank God you brought something since you can't bring children to the family." My grandma looked uncomfortable but didn't say a word. At Easter dinner, when someone asked if Eric and I were thinking of kids, Claire butted in before I could answer. "She can't even keep a houseplant alive. Imagine her with a baby." Then she looked around for laughter like she was doing stand-up. It wasn't just once or twice, it was every family gathering. Like clockwork, Claire would find a way to turn the spotlight onto my uterus, or lack thereof. I tried being polite. I tried laughing it off. I tried ignoring her. But the thing about people like Claire is, ignoring them only makes them push harder. By Thanksgiving last year, I snapped. I was carrying a dish into the dining room when Claire raised her glass and said, "A toast to family, to the mothers who carry the next generation, unlike some of us who just carry wine." I put the casserole down and excused myself to the bathroom, shaking with anger. When I came back, my aunt pulled me aside and said, "She doesn't mean it. She's just joking. Don't take it so seriously." But Claire wasn't the perfect mother she pretended to be. Years ago, when we were still close, she confided in me about something she never told anyone else. At 24, before she got married, she had an abortion. She told me she was terrified. Her boyfriend at the time pressured her, and she felt immense relief afterward, but also guilt because of how judgmental her family was about girls who make mistakes. I supported her. I never judged. I never told a soul. But every time she dug into me about being barren or selfish, I remembered that secret. I remembered the nights she called me crying about how scared she was, and I started to get angrier, not at her past, but at her hypocrisy. Fast forward to Thanksgiving this year. This time, she upped the cruelty. When my uncle asked how our travels were, I said we'd just gotten back from Greece. Claire smirked and said, "Wow, must be nice to just waste money on trips because you don't have kids to worry about. Some of us spend our money on real responsibilities." Finally, when Eric cracked a lighthearted joke about our dog being spoiled, Claire pounced. "Well, that's the only baby she'll ever have, a dog, because God knew she couldn't handle a real child." That was it. I put my fork down, looked straight at her and said, "You know, Claire, for someone who's so obsessed with motherhood, you sure left out the part where you got rid of your first baby." My aunt gasped. My grandmother whispered, "What?" Claire went pale. She stammered, "That's not true," but I cut her off. "Oh, don't lie now. Remember that night in your dorm room when you called me crying? How you begged me not to tell anyone because you knew how judgmental this family is. You told me how relieved you were because you weren't ready, and I never judged you. Not once. But you've judged me every single holiday for not having kids. You've humiliated me in front of our family over and over again, and I kept my mouth shut. But since you clearly love bringing up other people's choices, I figured it was time everyone knew about yours." The room was dead quiet. Claire's husband looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him. My aunt started crying. Claire stormed out in tears, muttering that I was a monster. Her husband followed her, red-faced. Dinner continued in the most awkward silence I've ever experienced, but no one said a word to me.